Welcome to Hameen Royale. This is Eric Grissom.
And I'm Dan Johnson. Eric and I will be rewatching the iconic Twin Peaks from the pilot through the return and everything in between.
If this is your first time watching, or if you're a longtime fan, you can watch along with us as we dive deep into the strange and wonderful world of Twin Peaks.
We live inside a dream.
Today on Meanwhile, we are tackling realization time. We're coming to our own realizations about realization time. Dan, how are you? It's been a week.
It's been a week.
It's been a nonstop train ride on this Meanwhile. We're not used to this. From the old Doctor Who show days, we would pump these out every 3 weeks.
Every 3 weeks. Now it's every week.
It's 3 times as fast. Before we get to the show, I want to do a shout out to Scott Ryan's Blue Rose magazine. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I have not.
He's written a number of books, but he's got a YouTube channel and he's interviewed just about everybody. And I came across an interview that he did with Charlotte Stewart, who we know as Betty Briggs. Mm-hmm. I think I had mentioned she's from Eraserhead. She plays Henry's wife in Eraserhead, who's played by Jack Nance. Mm-hmm. But what I did not know, Dan, is she's from Little House on the Prairie.
If the class would like to do it, I think it might be very educational, as well as a lot of fun.
Oh.
She's Mrs. Beadle, I guess the teacher on Little House is a great show. I watched it a lot. I could not tell you a single episode, other than somebody probably died of a disease several times.
I remember the older daughter went blind and then became a school teacher. I remember that. I remember Justin Bateman being on it.
Nellie was like the Audrey Horne type.
You think? No.
Right? She was the daughter of the guy that ran the town.
Well, yes, in that way. But she was a jerk.
Yeah, she wasn't our Audrey Horne.
No.
But it was that kid of the rich.
Yeah. Just big ringlets is all I can think of when I think
anyway,
of Nellie.
Charlotte Stewart, great, delightful
Fantastic
person. I loved her in Eraserhead. And now I guess I have to watch Little House on the Prairie.
So stay tuned for that review podcast.
Long way of getting all the way around to when we did Rest in Pain. You had mentioned how she was wearing that smiley face button.
Yes.
And someone asked her, because it was like they were taking questions. That was her idea.
Oh.
So she saw the button, the smiley face button. It was like, Betty Briggs it's so optimistic that she would wear a smiley face button to a funeral. So she put it on, didn't tell anyone. And she was like, if they want me to take it off, they'll take it off. And she just sailed through with it. So you can thank her for that smiley face button.
Oh, she had a really good insight into her character and knew that it worked. Because when you see it, it's like, yeah, it makes sense.
So let's set our eyeballs over to realization time. This is written by Harley Payton. We've seen Harley before, as I mentioned. We'll see him again. It's directed by Caleb Deschanel. This is the first of 3 episodes that he'll direct. Now, he is the husband of Mary Jo Deschanel, who plays Eileen Hayward. So
yeah,
I like seeing sort of families and this group of friends. You get the sense that, especially on this first season, that it is just a bunch of creative people working together sort of outside of the eye of the studio. That's cool, and I enjoyed his work. It premiered on May 17th, 1990. Once again, Falcon Crest rises, but it can't cusp over those Twin Peaks, although it's getting close. It's getting uncomfortably close in the ratings as far as Falcon Crest. So maybe they got a really engaging storyline. I couldn't tell you a single thing about Falcon Crest. Cheers, whatever.
It's
another repeat. It's another rating smash.
I think it's actually kind of good to keep in mind how well nighttime soaps were doing in this era. This is the era of Falcon Crest, Dynasty, Knots Landing, probably 1,000 others. Well, maybe not 1,000, but just bearing in mind that they were super popular then, because for me, and we'll talk about it later in this episode, this feels to me the most soap opera-y of episodes that we've seen to this point.
Okay.
Certain scenes, anyway.
I think it's safe to say it is a soap. I mean, when you talk about the tropes of a soap opera, the entire series, I feel like, fits that.
It's
like a noir soap opera.
Yeah. It's a soap opera, but it has other things going on where these other traditional ones don't. But anyway,
What about the radio, Dan? Do you have any updates to the radio?
Nothing compares.
Right,
It's
still that.
Still a little while.
Okay.
You're welcome for that vocal rendition.
All right, so
well.
let's jump
Dive
into
it.
Realization Time. A very good episode.
Harry, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Every day, once a day, give yourself a present. Don't plan it, don't wait for it, just let it happen. It could be a new shirt at the men's store, a cat nap in your office chair, or 2 cups of good, hot, black coffee. Like this. A present.
Like Christmas.
All right, Dan, it is Wednesday night at the Great Northern. We are starting right where we left off. We are in room 315 of the Great Northern. We have a naked Audrey in the bed of Cooper, and he needs to establish some boundaries and order up some French fries and malts. Dan, how do you think this played out?
Let's just say, though she's naked, she is fully covered in the sheets. And Cooper in this is great. He's treading that line of being human and fully admitting to what his wants may be, but what his obligations are on the other hand, and even to the point of like averting his eyes through significant portions of the scene, handing her a white handkerchief to dry her eyes. He's just the epitome of a gentleman. I will say first thing though, Eric, I don't know what's going on with the moon over Twin Peaks, because a couple of nights ago it was a full moon. And now I don't know, man.
It's hard. I'm honestly just thinking about where you're coming from, because this is still the previous episode. It's the same day, like 4 a.m. that day, or whatever time it was. But yes, you're right. The phases do not. I'll take all this out. None of this is worth holding on to.
None of it really matters. But yeah, I think this is the most honest Cooper. Well, not that he hasn't been honest before. Most direct Cooper's been with Audrey. There's no flirtation here. It's completely earnest, which I think Audrey absolutely needed. It was such a great realization for her that she what she really needs is a friend, and that not to go about getting attention in the way that she's seen other women, probably around her father, try to get that attention. So this was great. And the fact that he says he's going to go downstairs and order 2 malts and some French fries. Again, this whole like 50s nostalgia thing that comes through in all these scenes, I think is just fantastic. He does say, like, you can tell me all your troubles, and Audrey says that she can't tell him all of her secrets, and he says the secrets are dangerous things, but he doesn't have secrets, he says. Mm-hmm. So I think it's interesting here. Eric, what do you think? You're the one that's been talking so much about the friction, the frisson.
It's all been building up to this. Yeah. This is a scene that we will revisit when we do the return. I don't want to speak too much of the return, because if you stick with us, we'll get to the return. But Cooper talks specifically about his wants and his needs. She's like, do you want me to leave? And Cooper says, what I want and what I need are 2 different things. What does he need to do? He needs to do the right thing.
So do you want me to leave or what?
What I want and what I need are 2 different things, Audrey.
We've seen how other guys treat the young women of Twin Peaks. And here's Audrey in a vulnerable position, naked in his bed. The door is closed, he's inside, and Cooper is going to do the right thing. He's going to offer her what she needs the most, which is friendship. And for him to see that, it strengthens their bond and their relationship. This is what makes Cooper such a good character and the idealized version of what a man should be. Now, if you've watched The Return, think about a moment in The Return when there is a character who talks specifically about what he wants and what he needs, and he is completely driven by want, not need. So when we get there, it'll make a bit more sense, but for those people in the know, you may have had the same moment that I did, because watching this again for this podcast, I was like, oh my God, yes, that's amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
You mentioned the 2 malts and the French fries again. How great is that? Just to have a couple of milkshakes and some French fries. And you mentioned the thing about the secrets. I mean, I think that's everything. Secrets are a bad thing. Cooper has no secrets. He's like an enlightened being. But it's great. It was good. All right, so we jump over to the next morning. It's now Thursday morning. We're at the sheriff's station. Andy tries to understand Lucy. She takes a call from a doctor, and Cooper gets the lowdown from Doc and Harry on Waldo's condition.
I mean, Lucy won't even make eye contact with him,
No.
which is, And again, I've said this before, I don't remember what's going on. So,
Well, do you know now from the clues in the scene?
well, so she has a call from a doctor. She was out sick the previous day. I'm guessing it was something to do with a pregnancy scare or something like that. Not pregnancy scare, or that she wanted to have it.
I think that's safe to assume.
But I guess
you really don't remember a lot, too, of the show, too.
I
That's interesting.
honestly don't remember. It's been so long since I've seen this. I just absolutely have no recollection of it. So I'm guessing it's something to do with that. However, they've been seemingly a happy couple for whoever knows how long. And were they trying to have a baby? And she thought, I don't know. I understand her sadness, but I don't understand her not talking to Andy right now yet. So I guess
you got to
find
wait
out.
on that, and maybe you'll have to wait for a while. We'll see.
Oh, good. Okay, fantastic. Looking forward.
But we talked a little bit about this. I still don't understand what her deal is.
Well, they're made from.
I mean, I know what's happening, obviously, but
they're made from different blueprints,
I
Eric.
think
So you can't really.
Yeah.
Trust it. Just calling again. Cooper coming into the police station, tooting on his train whistle that he whittled. It's just great. He just still carries it around. I'm just imagining it's right there next to his tape recorder. He's got a tape recorder.
Just gives
his
him
train
joy.
whistle. It's terrific. It gives me joy to see him too. Love Doc Hayward reading the apparently seemingly like encyclopedia definition of the minor bird and talking about its mimicry and how it sees his play. And we find out that Cooper doesn't like birds. And I think, especially with the last episode, we're talking about the symbolism of birds and how prevalent they are throughout the series, especially in that episode. That's an interesting thing that he doesn't like birds for whatever reason. They don't make a big deal out of it, but he won't feed it. But yeah, so we realized the bird is actually a witness now. So if a bird can mimic, then this could be a great thing. So I like that Cooper has the voice recorder set there to automatically start recording if it says anything, which is pretty cool. And we find out that Jacques is now dealing blackjack, so he's not tending bar at the Roadhouse anymore. He's got a permanent gig up at One-Eyed Jack's. Wonder how he got that position. And Cooper's going to use the Bookhouse Boys. So
yeah, once again, Cooper doing the illegal business outside of the law. It's like, hey, we don't have the jurisdiction up there. It's like, fellas, we're going undercover. Give me your best gas station attendant. Cooper hating birds. I always take this as just like a one-off eccentric joke. I don't know if it has any more significance to the mythology, but who knows? We get some evidence from this scene too, like we know now Jacques had 3 guests. We got Laura, Ronette, and Leo. We've got that whole photo of Waldo and Laura and that little exchange with Harry where he's like, see this? And he's like, yeah, that's our Waldo. It's like, no, the woman, it's Laura. And he's like turning it upside down. It's like, come on, it's not that hard to figure the...
Yeah, he does. I forgot he turns it upside down. That's right.
It's the only photo on that roll in the cabin that we know Laura was in.
It's Jacques in a wig.
It could be.
Or Leo in a wig. I mean,
it could be.
I don't know.
So now we're building the case, right? We know who, when, but we don't know why.
I just want to say, I do like that in this case, we have substantial evidence, like physical evidence. You see the bite marks. He said that they got the confirmation from forensics that there were 3 people there. So as much as I trust and believe in Cooper's dreams and his ability to in this case, these are the real confirmation,
right? And what the log saw,
right?
You can't rule out the log clearly saw 2 girls and 2.
That's admissible in court, right? Yeah. That's fine.
2 things, like Warren Frost again. These grapes are right on the edge.
I love that line.
He gets the best lines that are just like, I got to go to the store and get 60-watt bulbs, or these. The grapes are right on the edge. Do you have any apples? I like Caleb Deschanel's camera movements. When we follow Cooper into the sheriff's station, the camera moves with him into the meeting room, office, whatever, where the stuff's going. And there's some cool motion that's going to happen later on when we get to the Hayward home, like with these pans and stuff. It's just cool work. So then we're going to jump over to the Johnson home, where an injured Leo is on to Bobby and the Twin Peaks Sheriff Department. Meanwhile, Bobby assures Shelley that he has a plan to take care of her.
Yeah, this is starting a couple of scenes where we have point of view shots from the camera from a distance, and both cases watching Bobby too, which is great. So we got Bobby arriving at the house calling for Shelley. We definitely see now the result of Shelley shooting Leo. Unfortunately, she only got him in the arm, which made it very awkward for him to hold that rifle as he's trying to call Loverboy back out again.
He's going to straight up murder Bobby right in front of his own house.
Yeah, he does not care.
So he's not the smartest, brightest bulb in the box.
He's also not the smartest bulb.
But he's also smart enough to listen to the police scanner. So he's sort of like he's approaching it from both sides, I guess.
Right. I guess maybe he's street smart, but not book smart. I don't know. Shelley, man, her understandable freak out. She's, just matching Emick in this scene is just heartrending. He's out there. He's going to kill me. I shot him. All of this is just, God, she's just absolutely terrified. And Big Bobby's there. He says he's going to deal with Leo. I'm going to deal with James. I'm going to deal with everything.
You're right. Like, her performance is amazing. The way that she can't sit still. Like, with her hands, she moves in such a natural way of someone that is overwhelmed with just stress, and just she's completely having a mental break, and he keeps trying to like console her, and she's moving and she keeps putting her hands up to her face. It feels so naturalistic. And I know that she hadn't done a lot of acting before this show. Like, I think she had done the Baywatch pilot and some modeling, but she really sort of rules that scene.
Absolutely. Yeah, she is stunning in her performance in that scene. I think is just great. Why? I mean, I know why Bobby wants to take care of James, but Shelley doesn't care.
No, dude, he's got to let it go. Why does it even need to take care of James at all at this point?
At all anymore. But,
he's already in a relationship with Shelley, who's great. He's already won.
But he's doing the thing with Shelley to Leo that James was doing to him with Laura. Like, come on, some self-awareness, man. Teenagers, what are you going to do? But then we do hear, like you said before, Leo was listening to the CB from the sheriff's station. You hear Lucy talking about bird seed, that the bird's a witness. No, because it can talk too. So that's got him going. So
yeah, we get the chatter, which is such a cool concept to have. An eyewitness that is a bird is brilliant.
That's
so
great.
We're going to jump over to the Hayward home. So we got Maddie, James, and Donna, and they're listening to Laura's mixtape, and they're devising a plan to break into Jacoby's office.
I feel for Donna in this case too. Just watching her throughout the scene, it just, you can see on her face, or maybe I'm reading into it, but she's like, I really did not know Laura. She just seems stunned by what she's hearing on this tape. The whole, Laura doing this coy, teasing sort of thing with Jacoby is so uncomfortable. The big bad dream, the kind that you like, the naked kind. Ugh. But then she talks about, I know that you like me, but that'll be my secret. Why is it so easy? She has that moment before they turn off the tape. Why is it so easy to make men like me? I don't even try that hard. And maybe if it was harder, ... Like, that's just great. And all three of them having to hear that coming out of her mouth must be really difficult. But for some reason, I really focused on Donna's reaction, or lack of it. She's just like completely expressionless, just looking, I don't know, lost as she's listening to it. And they also, we can go into the rest of the scene, but they find that there's a tape missing, and they have a plan that they're going to get that from Jacoby by using Maddie as a decoy for it. But tell me what your take is on the scene.
The camera work again in this is fantastic because it starts out where we're on the side of the family room in the Hayward home, and then we slowly pan into where these three kids, or these two kids really. We don't get to James until a specific moment, which is also great. But you get the feeling that you're like eavesdropping, or you're hearing something you're not supposed to, which is what they're doing. This is a private conversation between Laura and Jacoby, and they're listening to it, and we're listening to them listen to it.
Right,
And the way
right.
that matches like the form of the show matches the content of the show is so cool. And it all hints at secrets, like everything is about secrets and secrets this, secrets that. But I love that creep in. And then when she's saying like, why is it so easy to make men like me slow move up to James? And it's like, oh, come on. And we also find out, as you mentioned, the missing tape is the one from February 23rd, the Thursday Laura died. And you're like, they're trying desperately to get that tape. And you're like, James, that's the tape where she says, you're sweet, but so dumb. Like, you don't want that tape, buddy. It's better to just let this one go. The only other notice is we get that mention of Jacoby's coconut.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to jump over now to Horn's department store, and Audrey's investigation is going to yield results when she overhears Emery's sales pitch on the benefits of working at One-Eye Jack's.
Okay, so all of my questions about Emery from last time are answered now.
Yeah.
Jesus, wow. I, again, totally forgot all this, so it's like I'm watching for the first time. I like Audrey as the surly saleswoman who just doesn't care.
Yeah, she has great customer
That interaction with that woman is just, it smells like a forest. It's like, okay, great.
Just wear it around your neck.
Wear it
Donnie.
around your neck. It's a statement piece. Just fantastic. But then, yeah, we got Emery coming and talking to Jenny to come meet him in his office in 5 minutes, and Audrey's immediately on the case. I love that she goes over to Emery's office and standing outside, and there's a stock boy there, and just like tells him there's a horrific accident out front, and he's just like, all right, I guess I'll go. He also isn't like, oh, like, I know he's not going to speak. He's an extra, doesn't have a line. That's fine. But he doesn't even react as though like, oh, I'm interested in seeing what it is. He almost looks like, oh, I guess I got to go clean that up now. Like it looks totally business on him. But anyway, she gets him out of there. She goes and hides. And I guess she's just like, I guess I'll find out what's going to happen, because she goes into the closet in Emery's office. I'm calling him Emery because we're on a first name basis.
Sure.
And they're really good friends.
Yeah.
She goes in there and just like smoking a cigarette and looking at her nails. Like, I guess she doesn't necessarily expect anything's going to come, but this is a huge conversation, a windfall of information that comes out as we find Emery's involvement, specifically, as I had questioned, does he know what's going on with the perfume counter? Oh no, he is the main conduit to Blackie's.
You mentioned Audrey, like when she goes in there, she grabs the cigarette, she lights the cigarette, she goes into the office, and she's just watching it, but doesn't stop smoking. So she's still smoking the whole time. So you imagine the smoke is just coming out of the thing, but it speaks to her fearlessness. And she's going to get to a point where she's going to be in danger. She's such a good character. I associate her very strongly with the world of Twin Peaks, and to think that she wasn't even in the original concept and then they added her. But she's so good at like what she's doing and how she's playing all these people, but again, it's like, oh God, you can see her hitting that wall. And we see that as this episode is going to go, where she's trying to sort of get in touch with Cooper. She tried to talk to him last episode. This episode, she's leaving messages for him. We're going to get to that later, where she's slipping stuff. And it's like, you got to slow down. Like she's not afraid of anything. And that's going to be a problem.
I could see it that way too. Yeah. I mean, just going back to the smoking in the closet with the slats there, so the smoke would just be billowing out. Is it fearlessness, but a hubris as well? She's also a kid. She's just not thinking it through.
I think both of those things go hand in hand.
Totally. Yeah. I just want to say, like, it's not like thought this out and this, I'm just going to charge for it anyway. It's just like, I'm just going, and she'll just playing it by ear a little bit.
Or not that she's not aware of the consequences. Potential consequences don't matter to her because she's always gotten out of them. So she's pushing forward and putting herself.
Yeah.
I love Jenny, like the character of Jenny. She's only going to be in this episode. I think she's so great with this one performance. Like the actress, I think is fantastic.
Really well cast.
The way she handles Emery, and you get an idea of like, okay, well, how does it work? They invite you to One-Eye Jack's for like whatever, a night out to sort of feel you out, and then they offer you the job. And the way you learn about all that through her, I thought she was great. We're not going to see her again. I like that it's so corny that Ben gives out unicorns, which, unicorns are known for their horn.
Yeah.
And Ben horn, because he's got to put his name on freaking everything. And also, like, it's a phallic symbol and like all these things that happen with thinking about the horn. And when Audrey's done, she's listened. She now knows that people go to One-Eyed Jack's. You can be this hospitality girl among other roles there. She goes through that book, and you get like those shots of the book, and you can see Ronette's work there. And Ronette has 4 hearts.
Yep.
And my guess, and I don't know this to be true, is after Ben sleeps with them, those are the heart ratings of how good you were.
That's what I'm guessing.
I'm
too.
assuming, right?
Right.
In Zen and the Skill to Catch a Killer, when Ben and Jerry go to One-Eyed Jack's for the first time, they meet the new girl from the perfume counter. She's in this episode too. I'm going to say she is Gemma, who is listed right above Jenny in this book, and she only got 1 heart, which I feel like is unfair. Clearly, that kind of thing is wrong. But come on, Ben. I mean, what's going on here with these hearts?
I'm so glad you called that out, that it's wrong.
Assuming that is what it is, but then Ben's calling and being like, okay, the last one, that's a 4-hearter. I don't know. It's also a woman's handwriting. It does not look like Emery's handwriting that's in that book anyway.
You don't know how he writes. I love this too, that we're talking about, Ask for Black Rose, which is really great. I mean, having called her Blackie before is cool, but like I like Black Rose. But then he's going to take Jenny to go find some evening wear to wear something elegant. She's just tickled by it. This actress was great. You're absolutely right. In this scene and the other one later, especially, I think was really great. This whole thing with the unicorn too. I mean, Emery says this too, but it's like there is the association between unicorns and virginity as well.
All right, back at the Double R, Hank fishes out of Shelley, who Norma is seeing. Harry arrives to remind Hank that he's got an eye on him, and Cooper suggests a coffee break.
Yeah, this moment of Hank and Shelley being pals, just so that he can mistakenly say, so glad that you were able to help out, and Pete was so helpful. Wait, not Pete. Who was it? And she tells him, Big Ed.
Big Ed.
Hank's a weasel. If you didn't get it before, you definitely get it now. Why does Hank steal that lighter?
Because he's a thief.
Okay, so it didn't have any other. It was just there, so he took it.
Just his penchant for thievery is on full display.
Okay,
so he has to steal.
Yeah. Gotcha. I did, because I rewound it a couple times. Like, was there someone sitting there that I should have noticed who it was, and he took their lighter specifically, or no? He's just
He is just a bad guy, and he may steal other things in the future.
Oh, foreshadowing. Anyway, yeah, Harry comes in just to let Hank know that he's got his eye on him, and let him know that if he slips up, he's going back to jail. And then we get this incredible exchange that we've alluded to before between Cooper and Harry about treating yourself, give yourself a present once a day. Just let it happen. I know you have to have some things to say about that, but tell me what you think about the scene.
No, I mean, the only thing I would add, I mean, it's just a great, wonderful scene and good advice for life. To, every day, once a day, give yourself a present. Don't plan on it, Dan, and don't wait for it. Just let it happen. Beautiful advice. But one thing I want to talk about with Hank and Harry is like you can feel history. Like Hank has been a problem in this town for a very long time, and Harry's had to deal with him, and like how far back that goes, we may learn. But because he says to Cooper, he's like, do you ever get a feeling, or do you ever think people can change? Because I don't. Which is also interesting to think about when we see that he is involved. He's dating someone that is up to no good. So how will he?
Also, Cooper does
that?
Not answer that question, that rhetorical question. Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
I do like also small thing, but I will never not be delighted by it. Cooper's big goofy grin whenever he drinks the coffee. And it's also just infectious. Harry is also just completely. I can't. I'm going to comment on it every time. I love their relationship. It's just great. Cooper just brings out the best in Harry. It's really
good
nice.
Friendship. Back at Horn's department store, Audrey gleans Blackie's phone number off the latest hire at One-Eyed Jack's.
Audrey is good. She plans this whole thing out. The fact that she, luckily Jenny was so excited to get some evening wear, she left the unicorn behind at Emery's desk, so she grabs that, and she uses all this to trick Jenny into it, and it goes so smoothly. I love how Audrey plays this out. It's like, oh, he bought you a dress too? Oh, I was a hostess there. Did you also get one of these corny unicorns and all that? It's just great in order to get the Black Rose phone number and the cojones on her just to call right from Horn's department store to call Blackie. It's
yeah.
Just let's do it. Dive right in.
Well, this show is like can't exist
Right.
now, and we'll get to that with cell phones
Absolutely.
and stuff. But it's like, yeah, there's no. You literally just called me from,
I mean, we saw that from
Horn's
previous scenes in different episodes of like James goes into the Double R to make a phone call at the payphone, which is like, do the kids even know?
Now we're at the Hurley's house, and Nadine is drowning her sorrows in bonbons. But Ed tries to lift her spirit.
This is the scene I was thinking of when I said in the beginning that it feels this is the most soap opera-y part of the episode of the show. This scene in particular, really. There you have, of course, the only television show that airs in Twin Peaks. We have Invitation to Love on the screen. With Chet with a gun shooting Montana. And I do love Nadine saying, you show him, Chet, you show all of them. Poor Nadine. But the back and forth between them, especially like you still have the music in the background from Invitation to Love playing the whole time through the scene between Ed and Nadine. So it just ramps up the melodrama, like the literal melodrama behind it, which is just terrific. But I mean, she starts from like almost like laughing. I'm eating bonbons, eating bonbons at home and watching the soap operas, and then she starts crying about it. Just, I don't know.
Her heart is broken.
Her heart is broken, and Ed clearly he's not just with her out of a sense of obligation. Like anyway, in this scene, I really felt him caring for Nadine. I mean,
he absolutely cares for her. Maybe not in a romantic way.
Exactly. He's in love with Norma, but he still loves and cares for Nadine. And just to see her in pain like that is so sad.
No, she is me. And whenever I launch a book and nobody notices, it's like that. Like, I had all these plans. I was going to get a jet ski. She doesn't say she was going to get a jet ski. Nor would I.
It's a powerboat. She was going to get a powerboat.
She was going to get a powerboat. I knew it was some kind of aquatic family fun vehicle. But it's his pep talk is also amazing. Like when he starts, don't you give up on yourself. And it's like, man, I think I need a Big Ed in my life.
Everyone needs a Big Ed in their life.
Okay, we jump over to the Packard home, and Pete shows off his new trophy, and Josie confesses to spying on Catherine and Ben, and warns Harry that they are trying to burn down her mill. Andrew's mill. Harry promises to not let it happen. Dan, take me into the Packard home with these three.
I mean, we get a nice little beginning with Pete talking about his trout that he just got mounted by. Oh, who is it?
It's three T's. It's like Tim and Tommy's taxidermy or something.
Right,
or something.
exactly. So we get that scene and just having Pete end with, it was bigger when I got it, but I guess once you take all the guts out and you put the stuffing in, it loses something in translation. I guess sizes and everything, I guess. Just womp womp as Pete goes off. Just, he gets all the good lines. We got Josie and Harry here, and obviously Harry is very concerned with what's going on, and Josie's coming up to him, cuddling on him and giving him kisses and whatever, but she's lying straight to his face when he says, what were you doing at the motel? And she just straight up lies and says she wasn't there.
I would add, that's an intentional lie to get caught with.
Oh, go on.
It's a fake lie.
Oh, tell me more.
She's playing Harry. She's basically playing Ben. She's backstabbing Ben. She's working with Ben, and then she's double crossing Ben with Harry. So when she says like, "Oh, I wasn't there," she knows he's going to discover this lie. She doesn't think the lie is going to end there. Her whole point is to show him the pictures. That's why she's there, is to show him, in my opinion, to show him the pictures, because at the end of the day, she wants the mill burned, she wants Catherine and Ben blamed for it, and she wants the insurance money.
Right. But why would she need to lie to him first before showing him the photos? Why wouldn't she say something like, "Oh, I don't know. Why couldn't she just..."
If you've ever dealt with someone that lies all the time, sometimes they admit to one lie in order to cover a bigger lie.
Oh, okay. So then Harry would be like, "Okay, I caught the lie, and now the rest is the truth."
Yes, now I'm getting the truth,
Okay.
and then his defenses go down. That's the way.
That's great. I like that.
Sort of.
I like it better. I mean, I'm also heartbroken that Josie is apparently not who I thought she was.
She has the pictures right there too. It's all part of her manipulation.
She was just taking them to the mill with her. Like, Why wouldn't you take your blackmail photos with you to the office? But yeah, no, I am heartbroken that Josie's apparently not who I thought she was. So I guess I'm in a way kind of now I'm like, all right, this is who she is. I'm glad she's at least good at what she's doing with these lies and double crossing and playing people against each other. So I'm trying to remember, and I don't think things end well, but I can't honestly recall exactly what happens. But anyway,
treat it like a new
Don't
experience.
worry, every day's a fresh start for me. I don't know, everything's a blank slate. But yeah, so she just talks about the whole thing with Catherine on the phone, talking about an accident, a fire at the mill. Yep. Anyway, so she's got Harry.
We're back at the Great Northern. Cooper and Ed are dressed to the nines, and Harry asks Cooper for help with Josie. And Audrey misses Cooper yet again.
We got Cooper in a tuxedo, man.
Yeah.
Coming in smooth.
Looking dapper.
I do love, we see Harry and Ed first, and Ed's already all dressed up. He's got his Western shirt and his bolero tie, one of those?
Yep, bolo tie.
Bolo tie, that's what it's called,
Yes.
Bolo tie.
It looks like he's going to sell you a used car.
Yeah, no, he absolutely does. He's got that, and then you get Cooper coming in, and I do like that Cooper reassures Ed that what he's wearing is perfect.
Because Ed's first reaction is like, are you wearing that? And you can tell that he's feeling underdressed and that Cooper makes a point to boost his confidence is so cool or so nice.
Oh yeah, it's also just like, this is going to work. What you're wearing, it's totally great. It is disconcerting to see Cooper pull out that wad of $10,000 of FBI money and just all right, let's just do this. And apparently he does this often. He's doing it with a return on investment.
He gets a 10 to 15% return.
Okay, sure, but still.
And there's not a doubt in your mind watching it that he's not going to make 10 to 15%.
He's going to make it. Yep. Especially in something like blackjack.
Especially when it's $10,000 and you're like, oh my God, is that the $10,000 from Laura's safe deposit box?
The fact that it's $10,000, right? It could have been $1,000 and still been good.
Yeah, well, it's the Burroughs money, but I have to always bring up that stupid $10,000.
No, it does
now that
feel
the show
weird.
keeps going.
He gives Ed 300 of it, which, by the way, in case you were wondering, about $700 in today's dollars.
Oh, you've adjusted for inflation.
I did, of course.
Very nice.
I mean, we'll see when this airs. It might be completely different week to week, but yeah. Then we get just the small scene of Harry confiding in Cooper about Josie's fears, and of course, Cooper rightly says, "How much do you know about her?" And Harry is just a fool in love. He says, "I know enough."
Cooper is treating Harry like a friend who asked about their boyfriend or girlfriend, and you're trying to tell them they're trash.
Yes, right.
At the same time, being cool in case they get married. Like you can't overplay your hand. You're like, okay, it's good enough for me, but this lady is crazy.
Big tip: if you have a friend that breaks up with someone, don't badmouth them right away. Make sure it's totally over first. Similarly here, don't call them out on it until you know for sure. But you got these two guys. Anyway, you're going to even have a Cadillac. I don't know where Harry found the Cadillac they need for the cover, but Harry's got a Cadillac, and they're ready to go. And poor Audrey just missing them as they head out, and she's leaving her messages in desperation.
Back at the Packard home, Stephen Miller makes a house call to get a missing signature from Catherine's new life insurance policy.
I mean, it's Stephen Miller, but apparently Stephen Miller with a heart and a conscience. Because
although like he is a person that's playing the system. Like he's doing this because he expects to get something out of it. Like, are you an ambitious man, Mr. Miller?
One likes to
and
think
he's
so.
like, yes, deport all of anyone that went to Disney World or whatever.
Oh, do we hate Disney now too?
I don't even know.
But
yeah, he's an ambitious fella.
He's an ambitious fella, but he does seem sincere about that. So, you've all watched this. We don't do explain everything that happens, but, Catherine's figuring out, oh, crap, Ben and Josie took out a life insurance policy on me. Josie's going to be the beneficiary of only $1 million. I don't know. It seems small compared to, like, the mill and everything else.
I don't think so. I mean, at the time, $1990 million is a lot, and it's on top of all of the other.
Yeah.
It can't be too high to arouse too
so.
much suspicion, I guess.
If you want more tips on insurance fraud, you should subscribe to Eric's newsletter.
Yeah, it's a nice bump on top of a payday.
Yeah, right. It's the insult to injury that I think is the point there.
But Piper Laurie is so good in this scene.
As you see her realizing what's going on, but not being able to, also holding it back because she doesn't want to let anyone know. But at the same time, she's letting him know that she does know because he asked if there's anything he can do to help. She's doing many things at the same time, and they're all totally there. It's almost as though she's an incredible actress. But it's great. She does the thing that Bobby did in another scene. I forget which episode it was. When he and Shelley are there, and he, realizes what's going on. He says, "Think," to himself out loud. And she does the same thing here. She's like, "Think," when she realizes that she's being had, and then she realizes that the ledger's been stolen right out from under her. So
Yeah.
what's she gonna do?
It's rough. And she is a woman that has manipulated the system
Absolutely.
and been on the winning side of things for decades, and now she's been played, and now and realization time, like all of these scenes are about people realizing things, and she handles that so well.
So well.
And the think and the franticness, and then I said the first time I watched it, it's like she's fantastic. I think so is Mr. Neff. That's the character's name,
yeah.
Stephen Miller.
Mm-hmm.
He's named after a character in Double Indemnity. A lot of these characters' names are from noir films.
Yeah.
But anyway, we never see him again. I always thought he was great. He's a great actor. Like, the way that they build this up, like, don't expect to see him in another episode. But he does a really good job as the insurance man doing a house call.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and the fact that he's like, if there's anything I can help you with, and they mouths to her anything.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, I understand there's something fishy going on. And the fact that he held back the last page because he knew that there was something going on. Yeah, I would have fully expected to see him again, and Catherine kind of using him to her advantage. So
He gets mentioned.
I see.
But not
good.
you don't see the actor
Okay,
again.
cool.
All right, so we're going to jump back over to the Great Northern. Audrey is going to slip a note under Cooper's door as she catches sight of a new guest.
Yeah.
Checking in.
Very quick scene, but just, Audrey
Very
is
quick.
still insistent, looking for Cooper, slip something under 315. But yeah, we have a new guest, an Asian gentleman arriving, having his...
Does a little bow.
Yep, acknowledges Audrey, and she's giving him a questioning look. So I'm sure that doesn't go anywhere, right? That's not meaningful.
Yeah, well,
I guess we'll find out. Okay.
Hello, Waldo. Laura? Laura? Don't go there. Hurting me. Hurting me. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
okay, so we're back at the sheriff's station. Cooper and Ed prepare for their undercover operation, and meanwhile, Waldo finally starts to talk before being killed by a big pussycat.
Wow. That's great. The big pussycat. That was very
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Eric. That was very, very good. It's disguise time. This is the beginning of the wig spectacular. It's the wig spectacular we got going on the rest of this episode. Ed was not wrong when he says, "I'm not sure this wig's going to fit. I got a big head." Truth.
He pulls it off, though.
Does he?
He looks like an oral surgeon, vacationing among the furs.
We'll see in the later scenes, but that's great. I like Hawk getting Cooper all wired up for sound, which is really cool. But you were saying before about the direction and the camera moves, and this is another example of that. We have the slow camera pan over the Officer's Delight. Is that what it's called? The Policeman's Delight?
Policeman's Dream.
Policeman's Dream. That's it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Turkish Delight. That's what I'm thinking.
Of Officer's Delight, you have to spend a lot of money on.
A lot of money.
That's White Lotus season 4 is the Officer's Delight.
We got the camera move over the donuts all piled up, coming up to see Waldo. Now it's finally starting to speak.
Yeah.
We got the Laura wolf whistle that folks may be familiar with. So we got all of this. We get that the full range of what it's saying later, but I do love that we get the bird is shot, the blood goes everywhere, feathers all over the place, blood on the donuts, which is just terrible. Anyway, we got that, but then they do play back the tape, and we hear the full scene basically from Waldo's point of view in Jacques' cabin.
Yeah, I say these things all the time. Leo, no! Leo, no! Hurting? Like, it's just, if you walk around my house long enough, at one point you'll be going, Leo, no! Leo, no! Love it. I mean, it's watching the show is just, you're like, oh my God, like, 90% of anything that I have to say is coming from this show. But this is, you already mentioned how cool the scene is. It's just so haunting. And the way it's done, where you see, like, because you want the bird to talk. It's 1990. Right. You're going to have the bird trying to talk and, like, getting the mouth movements. No, the camera pans over, and then you see that, the frame picture when it starts to talk, and then the gunshot. And then you get to hear it on that tape. And the way they do it with the tape, like, he doesn't back up far enough. Then he backs up too far. And then he goes, like, so it just feels real, and it's just scary. It's a scary scene, some kind of horrific violence based on, hurting me. And we get this confirmation. Now we have an eyewitness, a bird eyewitness, that Leo is hurting Laura in that cabin. We know he's in the cabin. We know they're in the cabin. And now we've got this horrible thing going on. It's great. So good.
It is.
So well done. So we're at One-Eye Jack's. Cooper and Ed meet Blackie and do some gambling. This is a good scene, Dan.
Jesus, Big Ed's wig. It's insane. He looks like a demented, like a straight up Burt Reynolds ripoff. He's just Burt Reynolds with a mustache and the bolo tie. It's great. But
Barney and Fred.
He's right. Yes, Barney and Fred. His head's too big. Totally fine. I love the line when, Blackie comes sauntering up to them in the way that she does. And she's asking about them. First time there. Ed kind of trips up when he says that he owns a gas station. Oh, I'm an oral surgeon. But their back and forth is just great. They're a little flirtatious. I was hoping he had gum problems. I wanted to look under the hood.
Yeah.
Okay, Ed. Great. I love that she says, you look like a cop. And Cooper says, I'm the cop, which is true and fantastic.
Yes,
But no, you look like Cary Grant, which is also true. That's just a great scene. I mean, I don't know how Ed pulled that off, or why Blackie was like, he says he owns a gas station, but he's actually an oral surgeon. She's just like, all right, I guess she deals with weirder people, so that's totally fine.
Well, this is a brothel where people gamble and have sex, so it's not the first person to not say who they were, right?
It's the first lie she's ever heard. Yes.
No, that scene is great. The back and forth is fantastic.
It's great.
Ed's recovery is amazing. How excited Cooper is when he's a little bit nervous at first when Ed's dropping the gas station, and how proud he is of, you did all right, all that stuff.
Oh man, to get a smile of approval from Cooper,
could
there be anything better than that?
Yeah, because he does good. He does that whole, want to get a look under your hood. And then he ups it at the end, be like, luck's got nothing to do with it. It's like, well, okay, all right, now you're pulling out front, which is great.
Yep.
The decor in that place matches some of the Great Northern stuff. So, like, there's one of the chandeliers is like almost the same chandelier that's from Great Northern. So I imagine Ben like, oh, you did my thing. I want you to do this brothel up north.
That's his small talk before he gets started.
Yeah.
Gross. When you said this is the scene when the new girl is there, she's in the background as they walk over to the casino. Is that right? No,
she escorts Audrey in to meet Black.
Oh, does she? Okay, I thought she was one of the two girls that was in the background. I see. Okay.
I mean, she could be in the background, but what I'm specifically talking about is later.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, so that night, Maddie sneaks out to meet Donna and James at the gazebo, and Leland spends some quality time on his couch.
Oh, just Leland in a daze, in tears.
Being a total weirdo.
Oh, yeah, you think?
A complete lunatic. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
There's no other way to look at that situation.
We don't see that coming. He's just completely losing his grip entirely on reality right now. But we got Maddie sneaking out with the, giant bag in the middle of the night.
A little bag of Laura cosplay.
A bag of Laura just heading out. Oh, but poor Leland. It's just terrible. But they all meet up at the gazebo with James and Maddie and Donna. And, man, we just got another terrible wig. It's just another terrible wig.
Yeah, I don't know. It works for me.
But I guess, it is an intentionally wiggy wig. Because it has to be, it has to read as not Laura. So it's good in that way, but it's like another crazy wig, which is great. I'm just waiting for them to pull out like one of those rainbow clown wigs and just pop it on James.
Yeah, what could happen? James acting like he's seeing a ghost again, like when he's watching Maddie / Laura walk up, and he's just like a Tex Avery cartoon with his eyes popping out. But you get that shot of Donna, and you can see tension developing, like She's looking at James and the way James is looking at Maddie, and she knows James used to be with Laura, and now here's this woman that looks just like Laura. So you can some stuff cooking in the kitchen on that one.
Cooking in the kitchen. That just got me. I like that.
Hashtag cooking in the kitchen. Did you listen to the latest Meanwhile? The one with the cooking in the kitchen drop. At the Great Northern, Dan, the drunken Icelanders have still not signed. And Ben sends them on a road trip to One-Eye Jack's before calling Josie to finalize their plans.
They have not signed, but they have also not stopped singing.
Oh, they're still going. They are not done partying.
Ben is at the end of his rope. You gotta teach me some of those wonderful songs. He just can't wait for this to end.
Just eating ice cream out of the tub.
He's gonna be like in the shower, just running and sitting there in the tub, just waiting, crying for it to be over. Jerry talks about the Icelanders just worshiping the trees. I caught one of them hugging a tree.
Yeah.
So this whole thing of like the treeless tundra that they come from is being called back again.
Yeah, you mentioned that last time as being that they're drawn to these trees.
But now they're like, actually, he uses the word, he's worshiping the trees. Just kind of, interesting there. Do they want to finalize the deal at One-Eye Jack so they get back into the road, into the van for a road trip, which is terrific. But then the important thing happens. Ben calls Josie. So he's saying that they need to get Catherine to the mill because it's on for tonight, right?
Yeah, the mill will burn tonight, and hopefully Catherine, from their perspective, will be there.
And from your perspective, you've really wanted Catherine to burn.
No, I like Catherine. I actually like Catherine.
She's great.
You can't be mad at Catherine.
No, Catherine's going to Catherine. But then you get the reveal of Hank standing there next to Josie in his leather jacket.
So they have
putting
something.
all these people together. I'm so heartbroken.
Everybody's connected, and you don't know who to trust.
I don't trust any of them, Eric.
I love in this scene when Ben is mad at Jerry, he pulls the ice cream away, like he robs him of that delight. And again, it's the Horn brothers and food, and like how food is such a commodity between the two. Yeah. I do have one question on this. Okay. So Ben asked Jerry, how'd they find out about One-Eye Jack's?
They want to finalize the deal at One-Eye Jack's.
How'd they find out about Jack's?
I take full responsibility.
But if you remember, like in Cooper's dreams, it was Ben's idea.
If we still need a kicker to nail the sale, I'm thinking that maybe they might enjoy a little road trip up to, you know where? Huh?
Jack's.
So, like, he kind of told them to tell them about One-Eye Jack's.
Well, I think he told him that they would go to One-Eye Jack's after it was done. But now Jerry's already like let that slip because that's what's on his mind now. Let's go to One-Eye Jack's, I guess. That wasn't supposed to happen yet. But it's a weird detail. But
yeah, he's like, how'd they find out? He's like, I don't know. You literally told me that we were gonna go. I don't know. It's fine. It's stupid. All right, so now we're at One-Eye Jack's, and this is where we're going to see the new girl from the perfume canner, former new girl at the perfume canner. Audrey is interviewed for a job, and she wins Blackie's hearts with a twist of a stem.
Man, Audrey facing off against Blackie, and she thinks she can go waltzing in there with some sort of Hester Prynne story. For everything else that she's done so well, this was a big mistake. You don't do that. It's just as bad. I mean, it's okay because they're in a casino, like you said. They're all lying, but like Barney and Fred, obviously fake names, totally cool. You don't do that here, not in front of Blackie. I love that she does the whole thing. Is Big Amos still running the place? And Audrey falls right into the trap. But yeah, she does the old tying the cherry stem with her tongue trick. And I remember around that time being in high school and that being like oh my God, the terrible, like whatever, I don't know, the salacious thing to do. I guess, was that coincident with that this was a big thing, or was that already in the zeitgeist?
No, I think that came, that's a good question. Maybe it was already being done by people, because I know Harley Payton, who wrote this, a friend of his did that trick.
I mean, one of the great things about writing television is that something can happen to you in your real life on Monday. You can put it in a script on Tuesday. They can shoot it on Thursday. It can be on TV 2 weeks later. And a month after that, they can be writing about it in New York Magazine. And that's what actually happened with regards to the cherry stem. I was at a restaurant with some friends, and a good friend of mine said, watch me do this trick. And she then proceeded to tie a cherry stem in her mouth and show me the knotted cherry stem. And I was just in the middle of writing the 6th episode and realized that I now had my moment for Audrey Horne when she went out to One-Eye Jacks, and put it in the script the next day.
So I guess it must have existed, but I remember that being a very big deal because of the show, enough that it bubbled up into pop culture.
It was everywhere. Right. And I wasn't watching the show, so I didn't put the pieces together. But that was just literally everywhere in the early 1990s. But yeah, Audrey, like you said, she's fearless. But it works out for her like it always does. Sign here, Hester.
I love her dress too. Her dress is phenomenal.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to jump back to the gambling floor. Cooper's going to meet Jacques. So Ed gives him the sign. This is Jacques. And Big Ed nearly loses his shirt, but Cooper's there to bail him out.
I mean, I have this in my notes, but this is the case, right? Ed's losing, but Cooper just keeps getting 21s. Like he just keeps.
Yeah, he keeps winning, so he's going to pay Ed back out of his winnings.
It's so good. But yeah, Jacques shows up, and I like to Cooper says, "Can you count to 10, Ed?" It's on a good night, which is a funny thing. But yeah, Jacques there, but we don't really get a confrontation with him just yet.
No,
Ed gives the high sign and gets on out of there.
Yeah, we're going to continue this. We get a lot of these episodes are, one day into the other, so we're not.
Yep.
We're going to jump back here next time. I don't have anything on this.
No.
Because it's so short. All right. So Dr. Jacoby gets a call from Laura Palmer and is told to meet her at Sparkwood in 21. Meanwhile, Bobby watches James, Donna, and Maddie from the bushes while a mysterious figure watches him.
Yeah. I had actually thought that the plan was going to be to use the tapes to imitate Laura, not thinking, of course, Maddie's going to do the voice of Laura, just use the tapes.
So like, bleep.
Right, I know. I was like, this is not going to work. This is not going to work well. But no, it makes a lot more sense when you have... What I love is Maddie putting on Laura's voice as she's talking to Jacoby. It doesn't sound exactly like Laura on the tapes, but it sounds very, very close, which I think is intentional. So it's like, it is a different person. And then when she hangs up and she's back to Maddie's voice, how dramatically different it is. They're just so radically different. And that whole like very seductive / false innocence voice that Laura has.
It's like a baby voice.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah. I didn't want to say that because I really fucking hate that term, but yeah, exactly. It's that kind of baby voice that she puts on, sending Jacoby out to get the tape that they took, showing Laura in air quotes that you can all see, holding the day's newspaper. Yeah, and obviously sending off to Sparkwood 21 again, but other things are going to happen instead.
Yeah, I love the videotape, like you mentioned, like just the mystery of getting the videotapes at the door and then he's playing it, and like that's so cool. I love that whole part of it.
But then it like pans over and you just get that second or two of the gazebo, and that sends Jacoby off in a different direction instead, presumably.
Yeah, he's no dummy. He knows that gazebo. We all know that gazebo.
Everyone knows that gazebo.
It's where Jacoby got his first kiss. Well, what about the mysterious figure? I mean, that's genuinely scary, I feel like. The way that's shot, that watching Bobby watch them. Again, when we were listening to the tape the first time, we're watching them listen to something now. We're seeing the POV of some other person watching someone. So it's really cool.
You're right. You got Bobby watching them, then you got someone watching Bobby, and previously we had Leo watching Bobby with a rifle.
Yeah.
So who knows what's going on, but it's all very threatening and it is tense and scary.
So at Jacoby's office, Doc makes a break for that gazebo because he recognizes it, while James and Donna break in. Bobby, in pursuit, plants a large amount of cocaine in James's gas tank.
I mean, that is an absurd amount of cocaine that he's trying to shove into that. It barely makes it into the gas tank.
Yeah, he is really committed to James. Like, at this point, he owes Leo $10,000.
So much money.
And it's a lot of cocaine.
That's Yeah.
It's like a ridiculous amount.
I mean, what he should have done, like the appropriate but still outsized response would be to pour sugar in the gas tank, not what looks to be a brick of cocaine into his gas tank.
Cut his brakes. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but at that point, just sell the cocaine and cut the brakes. Do the cocaine and then cut the brakes if you want.
Well, if he's going to do the cocaine, then he's probably also going to do something even crazier than what he just did. So maybe he already had some of the cocaine.
Right. But it is ridiculous the amount of cocaine that goes into that gas tank. We'll see how that plays out.
With this point of view shot that you were talking about before, you also got this like the heavy breathing and watching Maddie as well. Like it's just, it's a great cliffhanger. It's a great way to end this.
Yes.
Like the previous episode had a completely different tone for a cliffhanger with Cooper and finding Audrey in bed, and this one now it's like, God, what is going to happen to Maddie? She's just, this would, like you said, this couldn't happen with if in a world of cell phones. Like you'd have to have some sort of event where like, oh, the cell phone tower is down.
God, you got to write that whole. I don't have a signal. Do we have a scene where a character says I don't have a signal? Okay, good. We can do whatever we want now.
Right.
That's it, Dan. I don't think that's the end of that episode.
Eric, what do we have coming up next?
Oh, we have the final episode of season 1 of Twin Peaks. So we hit the end. This is the last evening. This one is it's a good one, but it's the last episode, and I guess after that we'll talk about it next time. We might take a little bit of a break, but we're getting a script from Frost, and it's going to be directed by Mark Frost. So
Fantastic.
First and only time Mark Frost is going to be behind the camera. So join us then, won't you?
You will.
You will. Or you won't. Thank you for listening to the Meanwhile podcast with Dan Johnson and Eric Grissom. If you would like to support the Meanwhile podcast, you can leave us a donation by visiting ericgrissom.com/meanwhile and clicking on the support link. If you like our show, please consider rating and reviewing the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're hearing this now. Meanwhile is produced by Eric Grissom and Where's My Robots? The Meanwhile theme song is written and performed by Paul Finn and Evening Pines. If you want to let us know what you thought of the show, you can reach Dan at danjnj.com, both on the web and on Blue Sky. Eric can be found on Blue Sky at ericgrissom.com, which is also his website. It's also me, right? That's weird. We'll see you again, and in the meantime, be good.
Listen to the sounds.
Meanwhile.